What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have a very great video for everyone today. The S&P 500 and the NASDAQ both broke record highs, and Facebook broke the $1 trillion market cap for the first time ever. In today's video, we're going to go over the best plays to watch in the market right now. And towards the end of the video, we have an $8.5 million trade. Make sure you stick around to the end. We have a lot of great plays and a lot of great info to pay attention to in the market right now. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, and the big stock today was Facebook, really popping up to all-time highs today towards the end of the day. And this was due to a judge dismissing an FTC antitrust complaint against Facebook. And in the filing, the court stated that the FTC did not prove that Facebook maintained a monopoly between like Facebook, WhatsApp, and a couple other of their entities. And that's a good thing for Facebook, obviously. And they ended up flying up today and then passing above the $1 trillion market cap on this rise. And that's a pretty big accomplishment, especially for a stock like Facebook. Like we've seen Amazon get there, Tesla get there, I believe, and just a couple other ones. But man, it's nice to see Facebook finally getting up there and reaching that market cap. And on the daily chart, it's just looking fantastic. They broke out above that 340 resistance from a couple weeks ago and have just been exploding up to all-time highs. And overall, just fantastic news with this FTC antitrust suit getting thrown out.
Yeah, they're a powerhouse. We even had Microsoft break its all-time high today, but Apple's just lagging behind, like they're a powerhouse company, but they're not quite at their all-time highs right now. Tesla was looking pretty good though, Tom. What do you see there?
Yeah, Tesla is actually in a pretty prime setup right now. On my longer term chart, I've been talking about this blue trend line for a long time. And ever since Michael Burry shorted it, it seemed like that this trend line had plays a pretty big level for Tesla. And we're actually sitting right above that and consolidating on it right now. And I think we're in a pretty prime level for breaking above this 700 resistance possibly over the next couple of days, especially with the QQQ moving the way it is, and even the SPY trying to hit all-time highs. It's looking very good for Tesla right now. There's a pretty good support down here around 670, another support intraday around 681, and then it just looks like Tesla's just primed. It's just consolidating up here at the top and just waiting to break above 700. And I'm thinking if we get a good move out of the market tomorrow, that could definitely happen that could happen tomorrow, actually. So I'm just looking for a pretty good move out of the overall market to just make Tesla just fly up above that resistance. And once we break that, who knows how high we could start to go. And maybe we'll have like a good 3 or 4% out of that.
You know it. And then, Tom, we have to talk about a lot of these stocks that are trending on Wall Street bets. We have BB doing pretty good. Workhorse had a pretty solid day today. Wish, AMC, SPCE. We'll run through these real quick. The first one, BB, it had a decent recovery today, up around 6%. It is making higher lows, which is pretty good. And then, Tom, I know we were both looking at Workhorse this morning on the live stream. What do you think there?
Yeah, I think Workhorse looks really good. The intraday right now looks a little scary on the 1 minute. It had a pretty volatile day, to say the least. It definitely has a lot of momentum for tomorrow, though, still. But on the daily, it looks really good. It hit off support around 1350 down here at the bottom and just is consolidated for the past couple of weeks. And I think that we're going to finally see a pretty good move, at least an attempt to break out of this 1850 resistance that's been posted on Workhorse for the past couple months. It hit it all the way back in March, and then it hit it just a few weeks ago in June. And it's just a pretty good setup overall with Workhorse. And a lot of people are starting to look at this. It's trending on Wall Street bets. It had a lot of volume today on the daily chart, and it looks like we could start to see a pop, like I said, maybe up to that resistance level.
Sounds good. And then with the next one, we have, the big AMC. How's that one doing?
Yeah, I mean, it's lagging behind some of those other stocks, but it was green today, up 7.49% with a pretty good recovery. On Friday, it was not looking too good. We're heading back up towards that $60 resistance level. And I have to go back to a 90-day, 15-minute chart because we've been sitting around this 60 resistance now for almost since the beginning of June. We were popping, hitting that $70 area. And ever since we had that main initial pop, we've just failed to break out solidly above $60 to $65. And I think if we can see a solid move later this week, we might start to finally see it break out above here. And I feel like I'm a broken record. I've said this in the videos for the past 3 weeks because it's just been consolidating in this little range between like 53 and 65.
All righty, and then we have Wish. This one's, slowly creeping up there. I know it touched that $15 resistance for, a couple minutes today, but I think this one has potential, but that $15 level is really strong.
Yeah, very strong. And on the daily, to me, this one looks like it has the most potential out of all of them, to be honest. It has a pretty good resistance there at 15. And if we start to see a big breakout out of that, I think that we'll see a pretty big pop. It might happen in after hours or pre-market or something, but you can really see how, like how Mike said, like it hit 15 today and just came right down. It went slightly above it, but really it just stayed right around $15. But it could definitely have a good move up. And I know that the short float is pretty good on Wish as well. So we could see a squeeze potentially.
All right, and with the last one, we have SPCE, the leader from Friday. This thing straight up exploded on Friday, and it's holding its ground. Like, I know it finished down around 2% today, which isn't bad at all. When you have like a 40% up day on Friday, it has a pretty big support right at like just above 52. You can see like 52.50 or so. They really do have a great catalyst with that news from the FAA. So it's still on my radar, but let's keep in mind it is up quite a bit.
Yeah, that move from $40 all the way up to around 60 was just amazing. And to have it pull back only to 54 shows that it's still pretty strong. Personally, I think it could still possibly pull back a little bit more, just given that how much it went up. But keep in mind that like for the next couple of weeks, like Mike said, they had some great news, and definitely look into SPCE because they could be a powerhouse stock over the next couple of months, especially like if they start generating some decent profits.
All righty, well, let's get right into our momentum plays in the member of the day. Today's member of the day is Brian L. He's been asking some great questions on YouTube lately, so we wanted to give him a shout out. Huge shout out, Brian L. Thanks for all the great questions and thanks for the great comments. Comments really help grow our channel, and we really, really appreciate them. So now let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. With the first one, we have NIO to the upside, and it had a huge day today.
Yeah, NIO was on fire with Tesla, and go ahead and make NIO. I would say make it break out above the $50 area. It hit around 49.65 today, but I would say make it break out above 50. I think that'll be a pretty big level in everyone's minds.
All right, and then we have Enphase. I feel like a lot of people aren't looking at this one, but it's really creeping up there. It is up almost 8% today, and it's been on a roll ever since like May.
Yeah, this stock for some reason has just been under the radar. No one's been talking about it, but it's been on fire, just going straight up ever since that like May 11th turnaround day. But I would say make them break out above 189. You could say 190 if the movement's enough in pre-market.
All right, and then with the last one, we have my stock, Zoom.
Zoom, yeah, they're still on fire. Make them break out above 393.33, just the high of the day today around noon.
Sounds good. So I love Zoom. I've been, messing with it for the past like couple months or so. So we are watching these 3 plays for potential day trades tomorrow, only if they break above the levels Tom listed. And with Zoom, we've been buying into this one since I want to say like May 13th or, quite some time. Yeah, May 13th. We got in the 290 calls for August for $3,100. And today they were going for around 10 grand. So if you want to trade, with Tom and I and our bots, every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below. The coupon is expiring this week for about $41 off. We don't win every play. We're not, wizards or anything like that. But, we've been pretty hot lately, and the bots do pretty good for the most part. Of course, not every single play wins, but they have been pretty hot. And the worst case scenario, you can cancel it anytime. Like I said, the coupon is expiring this week. So if you're interested, definitely check it out. But now let's get right into the $8.5 million trade for this Friday. We are looking at the Wish 15 calls for July 2nd, which is this Friday. And, that $15 level is really, really tough, Tom. I would think that they're longing these ones, just with the way the market's trending. But this one's pretty hard to say.
Yeah, that's very hard to say. And that's going to be a pretty big bet, actually, on this one if they did long it. But I think that given how close to the money it is and just how much chatter has been coming through Wish and the type of setup that we're seeing on the daily, we might start to see a pretty solid breakout. And, we've been retesting this 15 level quite a bit with Wish. And I think that they could be longing this and it might start to break out. But honestly, it's such a good breakout play, like for the next couple days above that 15 to like 15, 18 resistance up there. I think it's just such a solid like breakout area. And if we do see that breakout, then that would make me think that they're longing it for sure. So I think it's just like a wait and see type of play, but I would definitely think they're longing it.
Alrighty, well, coincidentally, we have our first comment from Spacely saying, "Strap in, boys, wish to the moon." So let's check it out. I mean, it has potential, Tom, and it's getting traction from Wall Street bets, and it's holding its ground. Like it's just slowly creeping up there, which is a good sign. In a way, it reminds me of Palantir, just the way it's been like slowly creeping up there, and with these types of setups, like all it takes is one big day, one big breakout day, and this thing can fly. So either way, it'll definitely be on my radar, but that $15 level is pretty tough.
Yeah, whenever it gets broken, it'll probably have like a nice like 5% or some a pretty good day to say the least.
Alrighty, and then we have Nicholas E saying, looking forward to this week. I have a small swing trading account I opened recently, and it's almost up 100% last week. There we go, Nicholas. Love to hear news like that. We have Kumar saying, what are your stocks to watch for inflation? As I see, high inflation is here to stay until we see significant Fed rate increases. Watching your channel grow from 3,000 subscribers. Good luck ahead. Well, awesome to hear that. Generally, bank stocks do well with inflation, but I think this topic deserves a whole video by itself. So, the short answer will be bank stocks, but I'll probably end up making a video dedicated to this topic because I'm sure a lot of other people have that same question. And then with the next comment, we have Piper saying, I appreciate the nightly videos. What do you guys think about CCL for the next couple of weeks? I have some shares and options with a July 16th expiration. So, airlines and cruise lines are really struggling right now. You look at CCL and they're down 7% today alone, and they actually have news about a potential $500 million stock offering, which is not good. It wouldn't be good for the short term, but it would be good for the long term because it would raise capital, just for the company to invest in and grow. So I'm not like fully bearish on cruise lines and airlines, but I'm certainly not bullish right now. I like them for the long term, but honestly, I think that I think it will dip a little bit lower.
Yeah, and keep in mind the cruise lines and airlines, they've been really killing it for like the past year. Like ever since that big COVID drop, they've just been killing it. Like CCL moved from, these lows around 12 to $13 all the way up to $31. That's an over 100% move. So, just keep that in mind as well. We might just be seeing a little bit of consolidation, and it's not just CCL. We're seeing it across the board. CCL had a big red day today, right below support. AAL was down today as well. We had UAL down as well. I know LUV Southwest, they canceled some flights and stuff like that. So there's definitely a lot of stuff going on right now with these airlines. And like I said, just keep in mind, they've killed it the past year. So if they consolidate and come back down to support, it's almost a little bit like normal movement.
Gotcha. So one other stock I really wanted to point out was VIAC. This one's been consolidating for the past couple months, and it's finally starting to show some signs of life. Like it's been going back and forth between like 43 and 38, and it's finally breaking out, and it has some pretty solid volume and some pretty solid momentum. So I definitely think it's worth to keep an eye on this one.
Yeah, for sure. This one has a big gap to fill, to say the least. It's not a gap, but man, it had some big downwards movements during that GameStop frenzy, you could say. And man, this stock is definitely due to grow back, especially like, just given like how much this company went down. I would think that you could target this $60 resistance pretty good. And even in the shorter term, maybe somewhere around 50.
Yeah, the Archegos problem really screwed him over, but I still think that it does have potential for like the next couple weeks. But Tom, do you have any like last minute stocks, options, anything you're watching for the market this week? I know we have a lot of things like trending, and it's just interesting because we're seeing cruise lines and airlines getting absolutely smacked while we have tech stocks like Facebook, passing the $1 trillion market cap for the first time and closing up 4%.
Yeah, and the QQQ is just at all-time highs as well, with these tech stocks continuing to fly. And one thing I'm really going to be watching is Palantir. They're getting really close to this upper resistance here, right around like $27.50 to $28, you could say. And looking at like the 90-day 15-minute, they hit right off of that 27.50 upper resistance today. Definitely have your eyes on Palantir. I think that once they break that, we could see a really solid push up through that level. And let me go back just to make sure that that was a solid right there at 27.50. And yeah, it's almost it's pretty defined there right at 27.50. So looks like we could see a pretty big move if that can happen with Palantir. Also, still watching one of my favorite stocks, AMD, which just continues to have great, green movement towards open on these days where tech is just flying. So definitely watch out for that as well. If tech continues up, I would expect AMD to kind of continue its uptrend as well.
Sounds good. Well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget, if you want to trade with Tom and I every single day, click the first link in the description down below. You'll also get access to our bots. Generally, everything's been pretty solid. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. And don't forget to join the Stocked Up Discord. The link for that is in the description down below. You can chat with about 13,000 other members, and it's free. Definitely join the Discord. We have a great community in there. But other than that, thanks for watching.